Welcome to the leadoff man. The Cubs have lost 2 straight after a 4-game winning streak, so they're at 10 and 12. Arizona comes in winning 3 of their last 4. They are at 10 and 11. Let's check out the highlights from both teams' games yesterday as the Cubs played the rubber match against the Washington Nationals. Festive as always outside the park. And right off the bat, the Nationals jumped on Ryan Dempster as Adam Kennedy, the second batter of the game, hit a ball into the teeth of the wind, a home run to right. It was 1-0. The Cubs would come right back in the bottom of the first. Aramis Ramirez with a sacrifice fly off Luis Atalano, and it was a 1-1 game. It would be a seesaw battle early on with first base open. 8-hitter Will Nieves singling home Roger Bernardina, and the Nationals had their second lead in as many innings. The Cubs would come right back in the bottom of the second. Sharp single to center by Ryan Theriot, who's been one of the hottest Cubs. Mike Fontenot scoring. It's 2-2. We would go to the fourth, and Adam Dunn would lead off that inning with his 41st career home run against the Cubs, the most he's hit against any opponent. It was 3-2, and believe it or not, that would be it for the scoring. How about this play? One of the defensive plays of the year. As Marlon Byrd lost the ball in the sun, turns his head away from the ball, makes the circus catch. He said it was all luck, but what a play it was. The Cubs would go to the bottom of the ninth. They had lots of chances in this game. And Kosuke Fukudome trying to reach base to start that inning. He was called out. We watched several replays. We still couldn't decide whether he was safe or not. He was called out by Brian Knight at first base, and then Aramis Ramirez with 2 outs fouls out to the catcher Nieves. And the surprising Washington Nationals get out of Chicago with a series win. They take the final 2 of the series. The Cubs again losing their last 2 after a 4-game winning streak. Ryan Dempster with the Cubs' longest outing by a starting pitcher. Now let's go to Denver, Colorado, where the Arizona Diamondbacks were wrapping up a series with the Rockies. They thought it was going to be a lapper. Chris Young off to a very good start, a 3-run homer. He would tie his career high with 5 RBIs. It was 6-0 Arizona in the first, but the Rockies would storm back, and they would lead 11-6 after 4. Dexter Fowler with a 4th-inning home run. Arizona then would come back, and in an 11-11 tie in the ninth, bases loaded, a bouncer to third, throw goes to the plate. Mark Reynolds appears to be safe, but home plate umpire Marvin Hudson said Miguel Olivo's toe was on the dish. A.J. Hinch didn't like the call. He got tossed, but the Diamondbacks would win it in the 10th. Kelly Johnson with his 8th home run already. That's tied for the Major League lead. And the Diamondbacks would pull it out. The final score, 12-11. Arizona. They're scoring a lot of runs. Their bullpen, however, has struggled. They have given up as a pitching staff 23 runs over the last 2 days. We'll have more on the leadoff man in just a moment, but as we go to break, let's check out today's Hyundai dealer of the game, Family Hyundai in Tinley Park. See the cars the experts are raving about at myhyundaichicago.com. The Hyundai Great start, 15-5, even though they lost yesterday. Blake Lally's hit in 6 of his last 7. And how about Peoria in the Midwest League? They're the only team in professional baseball still unbeaten at home. They're 8-0 at O'Brien Field. Welcome back to Wrigley Field as we continue the leadoff man. A nice day. Temperatures are heating up. We'll probably see the wind blow out all weekend long. That's good news for the Cubs offense. It also could be good news, unfortunately, for a Diamondbacks offense that likes to hit the home run. And that leads us right into Bob's AutoZone tip of the day. 4 simple words: keep the ball down. The tip of the day brought to you by AutoZone. For the auto parts, accessories, and advice you need, get in the zone. AutoZone. We're right back with today's starting pitchers in a moment. Three words of advice: keep the ball down. That's 4 words. Sorry. I said 4. Walgreens, the pharmacy of the Chicago Cubs. And by your Chicago Hyundai dealers. See the cars the experts are raving about at myhyundaichicago.com. Hey, you get a great look at the rededicated statue of Jack Brickhouse, a Hall of Fame broadcaster, down on Michigan Avenue in downtown Chicago. Now the pitchers for today. Game 1 of a 4-game series. Ted Lilly gets his 2nd start coming off the disabled list. He's been very good at Wrigley Field. Last year, his home ERA was under 2. Ian Kennedy will make his Wrigley debut, just 1-5 lifetime. Missed most of last year due to an aneurysm near his right shoulder. Baseball coming up, the Cubs hosting the Diamondbacks.
presentation of WGN Sports.
From Wrigley Field on a nice April afternoon, we're set for Cubs baseball on WGN Sports. The Arizona Diamondbacks are in. It's the first of a four-game weekend series. The Cubs just dropped 2 of 3 to Washington as we welcome in Cubs fans from all over the country watching on WGN America, America's home for baseball. Hi again, everyone. Along with Bob Brenly, I'm Len Casper. Getting over 500 has been a problem. The Cubs have not yet been over 500, and they'll have to win 3 of 4 just to get back to 500. The last 2 days, lots of chances, just not getting that big run.
Yeah, the bad news is they're not getting that big base hit with runners on base. The good news is they're getting a bunch of runners on base. You see the batting average with runners in scoring position sitting at .050. That definitely has to improve.
The good news, as we've seen, we sound like a broken record, is that the starting pitchers continue to be excellent.
It's almost like a little competition between those starters. Nobody wants to be the weak link in this rotation, and so far none of them have been.
All 5 guys currently in the rotation have an ERA that's under 3. For Ted Lilly, it's at 0 after 1 start.
And what an impressive start to the season for Ted Lilly after opening on the disabled list. Came out against the Brewers. He was a little shaky early in the game, but managed to hold that high-powered Brewers offense to 3 hits of shutout baseball over 6 innings.
Right-hander Ian Kennedy, the former Yankee, has never pitched in this ballpark, so it might take the Cubs' first time through to get used to him.
Yeah, very impressive outing against the strong Phillies lineup last time for Kennedy.
Let's go down to the field. Patti Smith will sing our national anthem.
As she honors the United States by performing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the
Budweiser, with full flavor and a crisp, clean finish. It's what we do. By Pepsi. Every Pepsi refreshes the world. Submit your idea at refresheverything.com. And by Illinois Lottery's newest game, Powerball Wednesday and Saturday jackpot start at $20 million. Chicago River, beautiful day in downtown Chicago. We had some pretty brisk temperatures earlier in the week. But you know, when it's up in the 70s in April, the wind is going to be blowing out at Wrigley Field, and that is the case today. As they exchange the lineup cards at home plate, Mike Quaddy and Diamondbacks manager A.J. Hinch, who had to watch his team win in extras from the manager's office in Colorado. Here's their lineup. Kelly Johnson is the leadoff guy, but he's tied for the major league lead with 8 home runs. Drew, Upton, Reynolds, Adam LaRoche, Chris Young off to an excellent start. Cole Gillespie is in left. Connor Jackson's on the DL. Chris Snyder is catching a lot because Miguel Montero is on the shelf, and the pitcher Kennedy hits 9th.
Let's check out how the Cubs take the field defensively today behind Ted Lilly. Brought to you by Pepsi. Every Pepsi refreshes the world. Soriano, Bird, and Fukudome across the outfield. The sun will definitely be a factor once again today. Ramirez, Terrio, Fontenot, and Lee across the infield. Giovanni Soto back behind the plate today for left-hander Ted Lilly, making his second start of the 2010 season. We talked about it briefly earlier. Was very good against that strong Milwaukee Brewers offense. A little shaky with his command early in the ball game, but found it about the 3rd inning and cruised from that point forward.
Let's get the umpires for you. Mike DeMuro, the home plate umpire. His dad, Lou, was an American League umpire from 1963 to 82. Tim Welke is the crew chief. He's at first. Holbrook and Rayburn at second and third. I'd say it was mostly cloudy a couple of hours ago, but the clouds dissipating. And you see just one flag above the center field scoreboard. When it's this windy, they usually take down those team pennants. So it's Kelly Johnson. You have the former right side of the Atlanta Braves infield now with the Diamondbacks. Johnson at second and Adam LaRoche at first. And Lilly is ready to work. We are underway. Called strike at the knees. On a BP fastball at 81, we saw Ted increase his velocity just about every inning in his first start of the year in Milwaukee. There was a slider outside, 1-1.
Yeah, the first pitch of the game in Milwaukee was a 76-mile-an-hour batting practice fastball. The same approach so far today for Ted Lilly. Just show him a mediocre fastball and then gradually add velocity as you need to.
All kinds of interesting statistical storylines going into this one. You've got the Cubs' stellar starting pitching. You have 2 teams that hit the ball out of the ballpark. You have the Diamondbacks bullpen that is really scuffled. And the big condition today is that wind as we check in on the Chrysler game forecast. Brought to you by Chrysler. For more info on our vehicle lineup, log on to Chrysler.com or stop by your Chicagoland or Northwest Indiana Chrysler dealer today. How about a 27-mile-an-hour wind?
Well, this is the kind of day, if you're a right-handed pull hitter, you'd slip the skipper a little money under the desk just to get in the lineup. Of course, we've seen these conditions before here at Wrigley, and it doesn't always translate into a big home run, big score day. We'll have to see how it goes.
Technically, Bob, as that just missed, it is a crosswind out of the southeast, but it's shifting every once in a while. Right now, it seems to be blowing straight out to left. The 2-2 on the way, and a comebacker that just grazed the glove of Lilly, and Johnson is on with a leadoff single.
Teddy perhaps went to the well one time too many there to Kelly Johnson. A upper 70s fastball up in the strike zone. A little bit of a tomahawk swing, sent it right back up the middle of the field. Looked like Johnson got jammed just a little bit, but put it in a good location.
Here comes Stephen Drew, the shortstop. who hit an inside the park home run on opening day. He's a triples machine. 25 since the start of 08, leading the majors. So those two notes tell you that he can run.
He can run, and he hits a lot of balls from gap to gap. The guy that basically tries to stay up the middle of the field, and especially down at Chase Field in Arizona, if you can hit that right center field gap, you can leg out some triples.
The pitch by Lilly is hit foul back our way.
Diamondbacks don't run a lot. Excuse me, Len. Justin Upton has great speed. Their right fielder will steal some bases from time to time, as will Chris Young, the center fielder. But other than that, they don't have a lot of team speed and don't run much.
When we get to the ballpark, of course, the fans aren't here yet. The gates aren't open. So if the wind blows, you can hear the flags whipping in the breeze. But by game time, with the ambient sound from the fans, you normally can't. I can still hear it.
Yeah.
This might be. And it's all around the top of the stadium, and you can hear them whipping in the wind.
This is one of the strongest winds we've had so far this season, and certainly going to benefit the hitters that hit the ball to left center, and straight away center today.
A pop up by Drew, and the wind is going to keep this ball. In fact, it may knock it into fair territory. It does. So this is the exact opposite of what we had for most of the series against Washington. And in that sense, foul pops, it should help the pitcher.
We talk all the time about adjustments in this game, adjustments at the plate, pitchers making adjustments on the mound. Well, if you play for the Chicago Cubs at Wrigley Field 81 times a year, you have to make constant adjustments depending on the wind, which direction it's blowing, how strong it's blowing, and as I said earlier, the sun is going to be a major factor in the game today as well.
Right now, the Sun field is left in left center. It'll eventually move to Marlon Byrd, and then in the second half of the day, it'll be right. Called strike on Justin Upton, one of the most exciting young players in the game today. All-star last year. He's only 22 years old.
Yeah, Upton's got a chance to be one of the best in the game. He has all the tools necessary to be a complete major league player. He runs extremely well, possesses a strong, accurate throwing arm. Average is down somewhat in the early going this season. Tremendous power. And this guy plays the game much like Marlon Byrd. Very hard, every play, every day. Sun, no problem for Marlon. He'll just turn his back and catch it blindly behind himself.
I think he would be the first to tell you that's not how you draw it up.
But it works. Well, that's a helpless feeling for a defender when you lose that ball in the sun, and you're just hoping at some point you see a little bit of the baseball come out of the sun so you can make an adjustment. But on that one, Marlon, he admitted himself he just got lucky. But what a great time to get lucky.
Even 23, and he's already appeared in 310 major league games. 2-2. Lilly, a fly ball pitcher who will give up home runs, but he usually doesn't beat himself by walking many. Swing and a miss. He got him. Lilly might have pulled the string there for strike three.
Good straight changeup off of that outside corner. Ted sold it as a fastball, got up and way out in front, chasing a bad pitch. Strike three, out number two.
There's Mark Reynolds, who, believe it or not, is not leading the league in strikeouts. He has 24, but that's good for just 8. He's in the top 3 in home runs and RBIs. Coming off a blistering week last week when he was the National League Player of the Week. He went into last week at 182. Fukudome is going to keep his feet moving. Look at him drift. And he has it, and that'll end the top of the first. Leadoff single, no runs. The Cubs will go after righty Ian Kennedy when we come back. Every Pepsi refreshes the world. Basically, it's the Cubs' opening day lineup, save for the pitcher's spot. This will probably change, hopefully today. The Cubs without a home run so far on this homestand.
Let's take a look at the Diamondbacks defensively today. Cole Gillespie in left field, Chris Young in center, Justin Upton out in right field. Mark Reynolds, who had made 59 errors the last 2 seasons, only 1 error so far this year, working very closely with first base coach and former great third baseman Matt Williams. Stephen Drew will be at shortstop, Kelly Johnson at second, Adam LaRoche over at first base, Chris Snyder doing the catching for right-hander Ian Kennedy. Look at Kennedy's numbers on the season. Basically a finesse pitcher, good fastball, good curveball, a really good straight changeup that's highly effective against left-handed hitters.
Well, the Diamondbacks are fortunate they are scoring a lot of runs because it's been a really rough start for their pitching staff. 1 strike on Ryan Theriot. They're without Brandon Webb, who's recovering from shoulder surgery. Chris Benson just went on the disabled list. Dan Herron off to a subpar start by his standards. They just put Benson on the DL with a right shoulder issue. He left his start yesterday. In fact, they made 2 DL moves with their pitching staff. Leo Rosales also with a right foot sprain, so 2 new guys in their bullpen starting today.
I'm talking about the Diamondbacks bullpen, all right-handed. That Tracy Tyler Colvin, the 2 left-handed hitters available for Lou off the bench today, may figure in this game late.
A 1-2 to Theriot. It misses. 2 balls, 2 strikes. This is Ian Kennedy's first time ever in this ballpark. Well, how much he's going to like it. The wind blowing out. We'll see. It goes 4-1 as the ball got past LaRoche. And Kennedy covered, and Johnson got it to him. We'll bring up Kosuke Fukudome. 1 for 3 yesterday with 2 walks. Cubs scored 7 runs in the just completed 3-game series versus Washington. No homers, no stolen bases. And that came after a huge offensive explosion in a 3-game series sweep at Milwaukee. The Cubs are 5-1 versus the Brewers, and they're 5-11 against everybody else. So that needs to change. They're not going to play Milwaukee every week.
You wouldn't want to. That would get boring.
Padome pops it up. We're battling the sun. Nothing is routine in the air today.
I joke in the past, under these kind of conditions, a lot of guys come into Wrigley Field and alter their swing. They want to hit the ball in the air. End up hitting a lot of pop-ups, a lot of lazy fly balls to the medium depth outfield. You really want to maintain your sane swing. Just try to make good, solid contact. The guys that have a lift swing and hit fly balls, well, they're probably going to go if they make good, solid contact. But if you try to lift the ball, you're going to be making a lot of pop-up outs.
Saw a shot of hitting coach Rudy Jaramillo. He has invited the Cubs hitting coordinator Dave Keller to join the team, which he will do periodically throughout the season. I think that's great. Rudy always likes another set of eyes and ears and a voice. And looking at the Cubs hitters, it's also a chance for Rudy to get an update on the minor league hitters throughout the system. And it's a nice reward for a guy like Dave Keller, who works extremely hard. Lee strikes out, and it's an easy 1-2-3 for Kennedy. 0-0 after 1.
Traveling this season, take the Chicago Cubs with you. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Cubs game live or on demand on your computer. Visit Cubs.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere.
Ted Lilly back to work. 7 shutout innings to begin the season. Hey, it's Ricky Vaughn. A wild thing from the movie Major League. 1-1 to Adam LaRoche. Pretty streaky hitter. We've had years where we would see him with the Braves or the Pirates. He'd be down at $170 early in the year, but then he always seems to recover.
The 270 average would be a lightning quick start for LaRoche compared to what he usually does.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Sorry, Len, I was just about to say that the Diamondbacks are really happy with Adam LaRoche. Brings a professional atmosphere to the team. We know from past experience he usually gives you a pretty good at-bat, plays solid defense over at first base, but more than anything else, just a steadying influence on some of these young Diamondbacks.
Ground ball up the middle, backhanded by Fontenot, lots of time. We are email accessible at LenonBob@Tribune.com, and you can follow us on Twitter. Twitter.com/LenonBob. Might be tweeting as he watches the game from the front row. She's getting into the act as well.
You gotta check your cell phones at the door when you come to the ballpark.
1 ball, no strikes on Chris Young.
No phone zone.
You handle this, I just got a call. Outside on Chris Young. Rough year last year. He hit .212 and actually spent some time in the minors in August. And he's off to a good start as manager. Has commented on how much more consistent his approach is. Young says it's just simpler than it was last year. Just trying to hit the ball hard when he gets a pitch in his zone.
And hit it wherever it's pitched rather than try to pull it to left field, which is, I think, a bad habit he got into last year, trying to lift and hit lots of home runs to his pull field, using the whole field a lot more this year.
A.J. Hinch, in his first full season as a Diamondbacks manager, that caught a piece of Young's bat. This matchup favored Chris Young in the playoffs in 2007 when he hit a huge go-ahead 3-run shot off Ted Lilly. That was in Game 2 of that series. Called strike 3, got him on a fastball.
I really think Ted Lilly's reputation for being a breaking ball pitcher has worked to his advantage in a lot of those 2-strike counts this year. It looks like a lot of the National League hitters are looking for that big curveball once they get to 2 strikes, and Teddy's able to sneak that fastball by Young at the knees for a called strike 3.
There's Cole Gillespie playing left. He and Gerardo Parra sharing time there with Connor Jackson on the DL with a right hamstring strain. Gillespie made his major league debut 8 days ago. They got him from Milwaukee last year. 2 balls, no strikes. Make it 2-1. Really loves pitching in this ballpark. 8-2 with a 187 last year. The Cubs went 11-2 when he started at home. Deep to left, Soriano. He'll make the catch, backpedaling, and the inning is over. We'll see Soriano up 3rd in the bottom of the 2nd in a scoreless tie.
this year, a full 2 runs lower. If he continues to pitch at this level, he will get some consideration for postseason awards. For all your home improvement needs, shop and save big money at Menards.
First Cub to go 8 innings. It was unfortunately in a 3-2 defeat yesterday as Aramis Ramirez, a big swing. And he hits one about 35 feet back to the pitcher. 1 pitch, 1 out. That's how it's gone for Aramis early on. By the way, Lou was going to let him go 9 if his spot had not come up in the bottom of the 8th.
And being the stand-up guy that he is, even with numbers like that, Ryan Dempster felt he should have pitched better. He thinks he made a mistake to the number 8 hitter in the Nationals lineup to allow him to drive in a run. Made a bad pitch to Adam Dunn on a 3-1 count, up and out over the plate. Big Adam Dunn went deep to left field, but Dempster continues to put up those kind of numbers. Everything's going to be just fine.
A strike on Marlon Byrd. One for 4 with a double yesterday. Mentioned the great catch. Now here's some Birds. We should play some Birds. BYRDS. That's by Roger McGuinn, one of my favorite bands. Be a good song for Marlon.
Oh, we could play the Trashman, Surfing Bird. Everybody's heard that about the bird. But the bird. Surprised we haven't heard it yet.
Happy birthday. 8 miles high, so you want to be a rock and roll star. We can come up with some good ones. 2-2 to the Cubs center fielder. They're getting excellent production out of their outfield rotation. Xavier Nady off to a slow start, hasn't played a whole lot. The Cubs outfielders have driven in 42 runs, tied for the second most among all outfields in baseball. He's going to ground out to Kelly Johnson. I'm not setting you up here because I don't know the answer. My guess would be it's just the fickle nature of hitting with runners in scoring position. But how do you explain one series the team is hot, seems to clean the bases, and in the next series you get guys on inning after inning and you can't get them in? Is there something fundamental about this particular offense that makes it inconsistent, or is it just the luck of the draw?
I think a lot of it is the luck of the draw and the opposing pitchers. If the opposing pitchers make mistakes with runners in scoring position, you're a lot more likely to hit the ball hard, and if you hit the ball hard, you're more likely to get hits.
Kelly Johnson just grabbed the flip downs. Rich Rupp is the bat boy. Does a great job in the Cubs clubhouse. And occasionally he or Tom Otis Hellman, the clubhouse manager. I don't think we've seen Gary Stark yet. No, don the uniform.
You probably ought to call Rich a bat man.
A bat man. What's a kid's game? You're the bat boy if you sit in that chair.
And it seems like every time the Cubs have done this, or Otis Hellman or Rich Rupp or one of the clubhouse attendants has taken over the roles of the bat boy, bat man, it's jump-started the offense. So hopefully that'll be the case today.
2-2 on Soriano. Former teammates, but both Kennedy and Soriano at one time were Yankees. Diamondbacks got Kennedy this past offseason. He's from Huntington Beach, California.
His 3-2 is popped up behind short out into shallow left, and Drew with a nice catch running away from home plate. Still scoreless on a very windy day at Wrigley.
Good cut there by REM. Redhead walking. Budweiser, it's what we do.
Catcher Chris Snyder fouls back our way as we're underway in the third. Hitting eighth in front of his battery mate, Ian Kennedy. Chris Snyder's working on a 211-game errorless streak behind the plate. That's the third longest ever. Mike Matheny holds the record, 252 consecutive games. Mike Redmond at 247, and Chris Snyder trying to make it 212 today. Really working from the far third base side of the pitching rubber, and Snyder elevates. And Soriano, flat-footed this time, makes a catch. Here's a pitcher, Kennedy, 1 for 6 on the year and in his career. Diamondbacks used Dan Herron as a pinch hitter yesterday, and he picked up a single. It's the second Diamondback pitcher to collect a pinch hit. The other, Micah Owens, not a big surprise. He had 4 of them. Down the right field line and out of play.
And this is the kind of day as a starting pitcher, you have to maintain your focus against every hitter in that opposing lineup, including the pitcher. You don't want to toss a cookie up there to a guy that doesn't swing the bat very often and give him a chance to elevate a ball to left field today. Sometimes the lineup will afford you the opportunity of what I like to call breather innings. You work your way through the middle of the lineup, get down to those 7, 8, 9 hitters, and if you just execute good pitches, you should be able to get through the inning okay.
That'll hold up for Marlon Byrd. The hardest hit ball so far by the Diamondbacks. Off the bat of the pitcher Kennedy, and back to the top and Kelly Johnson.
Now, because of the conditions today, no such thing as a breather inning. Anybody with a bat in his hands is dangerous today.
This is a long series, 4 games. They're all day games, and we certainly encourage the Diamondbacks to enjoy a few late nights here in Chicago. Get a lot to eat. Stay up late.
Sure. You enjoy the whole experience.
I know you never went out much when you came here as a Giant. You were focused totally on baseball, but some guys hit Rush Street.
Literally and figuratively.
It's pulled into right. Kelly Johnson is heating up again. He only had 1 hit in that Rockies series. That was the game-winning homer in the 10th yesterday, and he's already 2 for 2 today.
Well, the good news is both of his base hits have stayed in the ballpark. This guy's hitting home runs at an alarming rate in the early season here. That leadoff single to start the ball game, however, didn't lead to anything. Johnson was stranded at first base when the inning ended. Hopefully the same thing will happen here.
The pitch to Stephen Drew. It was a called strike. Former Cub Art Grace seems to be hiding from us. There's Gracie. They used to have a good time. And he played here.
Yes, he did. I would have to say that Gracie was probably perfectly suited to play here in Chicago at Wrigley Field with the day games and still partake of the nightlife. We're deep in conversation over there.
Looking at Darren Sutton. Swing and a miss. A breaker by Lilly. And he's ahead 0-2 on Stephen Drew.
But took just a little bit off of that slider. Started it in the middle of the plate. Looked like a good pitch to hack at for Stephen Drew. And then moved away from the bat, down and away.
Johnson takes off, a swing and a miss. Actually a foul tip strikeout. Some more redhead walking as we go to break. Scoreless. Assuming you can't have hair to make that work. Bottom three, Fontenot, Soto, and Lilly against righty Ian Kennedy. Called strike. Mike has hit in 6 in a row. He just got plunked to put the leadoff man on.
Mentioned Kennedy, a fastball, curveball, changeup pitcher. He will occasionally try to cut that fastball in on the left-handers. That appeared to be what that pitch was that caught Mike Fontenot right on the outside of the right knee there. Walk it off.
Soto hitting 8th with an OPS of 1,027. Been getting on base over 1 out of every 2 plate appearances to start the season. Very encouraging start. He combined with Coy Hill. Cubs catchers hitting .343 this year. 3rd in the National League, and they have the best on base percentage in the majors at .470. One and one.
Chris Snyder, a solid defensive catcher. He's had his trouble swinging the bat, but very adept at blocking the ball. Real good receiver behind the plate as well. Makes those borderline pitches look a little better than they really are.
He's a large man, 6'4", 245.
On the right there with the towel around his neck, you see bullpen coach Glenn Sherlock. You want to talk about a survivor. Glenn Sherlock is the only remaining on-field personnel from the beginning of the Arizona Diamondbacks organization back in 1998. He survived 5 managers, an owner's change, a couple of different presidents, a few different general managers, and one of the best catching instructors in the game. And he's worked with some of the best. Damian Miller, who played here in Chicago for a couple of years. Tremendous receiver behind the plate. Rod Barajas, who's now catching for the New York Mets, really blossomed under Glenn Sherlock's tutelage. Chad Moeller, Miguel Montero, who's on the disabled list right now, and Chris Snyder, the guy behind the plate today. All really strong receivers behind the plate.
Two and two on Soto. Ted Lilly on deck. Here it is. He got him. And Gio knew it.
Chicago Cubs baseball on WGN TV is sponsored in part by the Illinois Lottery Mega Millions. Friday's Mega Millions jackpot is $224 million.
Here's Ted Lilly. A hard bunt, but it works. The sacrifice as LaRose tags him out. First sack bunt of the year for Ted. Cub fans, don't forget to check out our WGN baseball blog on WGNTV.com. I have a post on the Powerball we'll probably see in this series from both teams. You can check out Lou Pinella's pretty brief post-game news conference yesterday. We have game notes from Stats. We have Fergie Jenkins, our 7th inning stretch guest today on Chicago Baseball Stories. WGNTV.com. Click on sports and look for the link to Len and Bob's blog. Look at Fergie's thoughts on pitching on a day like this, with the wind blowing out. So far, these two pitchers have not had much trouble. Cubs have a runner in scoring position for the first time. And it's 1-1 on Ryan Theriot. An 8-game hitting streak. Even with the out he made in the first, he's still 19 for his last 40. Up the middle, kicks off the mound and just past Kelly Johnson. Fontenot's in, and it's 1-0.
Ted Lilly's ability to get that one-out bunt down and move Fontenot into scoring position creates an RBI opportunity for Theriot, and he takes advantage. Picked on a breaking ball right back through the middle of the field. That ball hit off the side of the pitcher's mound and actually deflected a little bit closer to Johnson at second base, but Ryan hit it hard enough to get it back up the middle for a knock.
What are the odds a 1-0 lead's going to hold up? Possible. Unlikely. So you'd like to see them tack on. Lou always likes that. Let's just settle for one. And Ryan takes off, and Fukudome hits it foul straight back and into the upper deck.
Snyder behind the plate has caught 3 out of 16 attempted base stealers this season. That looked like a straight steal from Theriot. Felt like he had a good enough jump to steal that bag, but Fukudome, being a left-handed hitter, didn't really see him out of his peripheral vision. Otherwise, he might have taken that pitch.
The Diamondbacks have allowed 25 steals, the most in the National League, which is an indictment more of their pitching staff than their catchers. So teams have run a lot against Arizona. 1-1.
And looking at the report on Ian Kennedy, today's starter for the Diamondbacks, it said he doesn't like to throw to the bases very often on pickoff attempts and rarely uses the slide step. So maybe an opportunity for the Cubs to be a little more aggressive today. Although with the wind blowing out, you definitely don't want to run into outs on the bases.
The deal involving Kennedy from the Yankees was a 3-team, rather involved deal. As part of that deal, Curtis Granderson went from Detroit to New York. Max Scherzer was involved in that trade. Daniel Schlereth, Austin Jackson, Phil Koch, Edwin Jackson also came over from Detroit to Arizona. That gets past Snyder and allows Theriot to reach second.
Second wild pitch of the season for Kennedy. Just over gripped that curveball, threw it actually behind Kosuke Fukudome and past his own catcher all the way to the bricks.
Stephen Drew drifting out. Over the shoulder catch, and the inning is over. Ryan Theriot with his 12th RBI of the year, giving the Cubs a 1-0 lead after 3. Ryan Terrio picks up a lot of singles. There's 32 hits. That's up to date. Pablo Sandoval is going to be near the league lead. Prado off to a fast start, as is Ryan Braun. Toyota and your local Toyota dealers, official partner of the Chicago Cubs. So Ted Lilly will try to make a 1-0 lead hold up here in the fourth as he faces Upton, Reynolds, and LaRoche. Upton struck out in the first inning. Say Gordie Howe, maybe? No. That's a big dude. The jersey looked too big on him. Three and 0 on Upton.
It seems like we continue to talk about the conditions here with the wind blowing out, and obviously base on balls is not the order of the day. You don't want to create any opportunities for the Diamondbacks to have multiple run innings by walking guys ahead of potential home run hitters.
Expect to see that green light for the middle of the order hitters throughout the day on that 3-0 pitch. Now a 3-1, ball 4 on a close one. Let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN. Upton is on, one of the few guys who will run in this Diamondbacks order. And it's Mark Reynolds at the plate. His first move was back to first as Lilly came toward the plate. Well, the Tigers are trying to close out the Twins and win that series. They lead 3-0 in the bottom of the 8th. Dontrell Willis with 6 shutout innings. The Tigers win that game. It would be the Twins' first series loss. They had won their first 6 in a row. Way outside. And it's 2-0. Well, what's going on with the Braves? They are not scoring runs. They're trailing big again today at St. Louis, 8-3. The Braves have lost 8 in a row. And the Cardinals, with that 5-run lead in the 6th, appear to be poised to win their 5th in a row. They lead the division at 14-7. Best record in the league. And the Cubs in 3rd place, 4.5 out starting play today. 3-1. Reynolds got a 3-year deal in mid-March. He's signed through 2012. Team option for the following year, and Ted Lilly doing something he did not want to do. Walking the first 2 guys of the inning, and Larry Rothschild will head out.
I mean, obviously you want to be careful with Upton and Reynolds, the 2 guys in the middle of this lineup that can really do some damage with one swing of the bat. But I think Ted was just trying to get a little too cute there, throwing a lot of change-ups, including the 3-1 pitch that missed to Reynolds. Still have to be aggressive with your stuff. Trust your stuff. How many pitching coaches have made trips to the mound to say that to a starting pitcher? Trust your stuff.
John Munger is following us on Twitter, watching on WGN America from Ames, Iowa. Prepping for finals. Would love to be here at Wrigley.
Well, we'd love to be there prepping for finals. So
no, we would.
It all works out.
Again, you can email us or drop us a line at twitter.com/LennonBob. You're stumped in terms of a big finals question. Bob can help you out. Calculus or world history.
Yeah, bring it on. I'm not guaranteeing my answer will be correct, but I'll give you an answer.
Here comes the 0-1. Outside. 1 ball, 1 strike on LaRoche. It's a handful today.
Well, that's the future TV booth of the Cubs.
Statistically, this is not a great matchup for Lilly in terms of getting a double play ball because he gives up a lot of fly balls and Adam LaRoche hits his fair share of fly balls.
And 1 double play this season grounded into by the Diamondbacks first baseman.
3-1. Diamondbacks are a patient team. They will strike out. They take some big hacks. You would expect that from a home run hitting team. They're not afraid to work some deep counts to see all the fly balls, coached by Ted Lilly. There's another one, and this one's going to get up in the wind and out in the middle of the bleachers for a 3-run homer for Adam LaRoche. Lilly got behind in the count, and it cost him. That is really the worst possible scenario on a day like this, but it's a likely scenario if you don't throw strikes.
And the 2 walks preceding this fly ball to left center field, I'm sure, are what is disconcerting to Ted Lilly today. He's pitched enough games here at Wrigley to know under these conditions you have to try to limit the damage. And the 2 base on balls, not what he had in mind to start this inning.
Well, no do-overs in this game, but the bases are empty, so it's like the inning has started over. And Lilly's 1-0 to Chris Young just catches the outside 1-1. LaRoche with his 3rd homer of the year.
And we were told before the ball game today that LaRoche, as well as the second baseman Kelly Johnson, obviously Johnson off to a great start with the home run ball, but both willing to go to the opposite field, and LaRoche proved it right there.
Popped into right as Fukudome races in and over a little bit toward his right. 1 out. Gillespie coming up for the 2nd time. Bob, the month of April is National Donate Life, and the Cubs want to remind everyone about the critical need for organ and tissue donors. The Life Goes On campaign recognized here at the ballpark today. Great to see Secretary of State Jesse White. So go to lifegoeson.com for more information on becoming an organ or tissue donor. Hey. Lost my ability to read there for a second. Or call 1-800-210-2106. That's drilled out into the gap for Cole Gillespie. Soriano knocked it down, couldn't pick it up, didn't matter. Would have been a double either way.
That'll be ruled a double all the way for Gillespie. Went down and got that ball. Split the gap in left center field. Soriano got to it in pretty good shape. Just couldn't come up with it cleanly when the ball dropped on the warning track and made it an easy double for Gillespie.
Chris Snyder. Strike one to Snyder. Now we know why the fans are booing.
We heard a commotion down beneath us. We couldn't see what was going on, but now we know.
Blackhawks and Canucks this weekend will start their big second round playoff series. Curveball misses low. Bob, what are the challenges for a catcher of the physical stature of Chris Snyder?
Well,
He's big.
Yeah, obviously just to get down low enough to give your pitcher a good low target behind the plate, and then also to be able to shift out of that position to block anything that happens to come up there in the dirt. Now, Snyder, like a lot of the other big catchers in the major leagues at this time, very flexible, especially through the hip area, gives him the ability to get down and give a good low target.
Fly ball to deep left, and Soriano will run out of room. A 2-run homer. Another one up into the jet stream, and Chris Snyder just hit his 3rd homer of the year. And it's 5-1 as the Diamondbacks have put together several big innings the last couple of days.
Well, the Cubs have been really burned by the 8-hitter in opposing lineups recently. The pitcher Ian Kennedy in the on-deck circle, but Ted Lilly makes a mistake to Chris Snyder, and he casts it high in the air to left field. It got up in that jet stream and just continued to carry up into the bleachers.
This is the first time Lilly has given up runs over his first 2 starts. So he went 9 shutout before this 5-run 4th. And with that, right-hander Jeff Gray is getting ready quickly. 1-2 to Kennedy.
I mentioned in Ted Lilly's first start against the Brewers, he was a little erratic through the first couple of innings, but in a good way. He was missing the strike zone up. Got a lot of swinging strikes and pop-ups off the bat of the Brewers hitters. However, he's made some mistakes in the zone. Very hittable pitches.
Don't miss the action as the Cubs battle the Diamondbacks on Saturday at 12:05. But be sure to get here early. The first 5,000 children 7 and younger will receive a Cubs Dora the Explorer plush doll, compliments of Pepsi and Aquafina. Four strikeouts for Lilly. Johnson swings and misses. He's 2 for 2. Make it 3 for 3. So the converted outfielder is now a second baseman. Off to a great start here in 2010 with his new team.
Right, another pitch up, belt high out over the plate. Nice quick swing that time by Kelly Johnson. A lot of top hand, rolled over that ball. Clean single into right.
Johnson moved to second base in 07 while with the Braves. We saw Skip Schumacher make that conversion last year with St. Louis. Well, hang in there. It's one of those days. You can get right back into it, but you're going to have to hit some home runs. And that's something the Cubs have not done so far on this homestand.
Well, somewhat understandable throughout the beginning of this homestand because the conditions were exactly the opposite of what we see here today. Very cold, very windy, blowing straight in. Today, very warm, good day to hit with the wind blowing straight out.
Called strike 3, caught the inside corner. Home runs by LaRoche, knocking in 3. Snyder, a 2-run shot. It's 5-1.
AT&T is brought to you by Bud Light, the sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
Ian Kennedy working with a 4-run lead as he got a couple of home runs in support from LaRoche and his battery mate Chris Snyder. 0-1 on Derek Lee. The other simplistic answer to the Cubs' inconsistent offensive production early are the first 2 guys coming up in this inning, and I think they both realize it. Derek at an even 200 at the moment, and Aramis at 153. And you can get by with some other guys picking up the slack on occasion, but not for weeks at a time.
Not only their lack of production, but what that does to the rest of the lineup. If you've got a couple guys struggling as badly as Ramirez and Derek Lee have been recently, the guys in front of them are going to be pitched differently. The guys behind them are going to be pitched differently. You really need your big boys to start swinging.
Frustrated Derek Lee has struck out twice. And here comes Ramirez as we get the strikeout pitch.
A good straight changeup.
I don't know this for a fact, but for Aramis, he's now had 94 plate appearances. He is slugging .294. That is anemic even for a light hitting utility shortstop. I can't imagine he's had about 100 plate appearances any stretch quite like this in the last probably decade.
I really think a lot of it goes back to his lack of plate appearances in spring training. He had the injury to the right triceps muscle that limited his playing time, especially late in spring training. He kind of downplayed it, said he didn't need that many at-bats in spring training to get ready, but certainly looks like he's suffering the effects of a lack of spring training.
Now Lou does have a couple of options at first and third. I mean, the bottom line is he needs these two guys to get it going. And if he gives either or both a day off, it would probably be just one. He did give Aramis 2 days off on the last trip. But it'll be interesting to see if their struggles continue, if Xavier Nady and Chad Tracy get a start or two coming up.
Well, it would seem to make some sense. I mean, Chad Tracy's kind of been used basically as a pinch hitter off the bench for Lou, especially late in the ball game, and because he hasn't had many at bats, well, he's suffered for it. So at some point, everybody needs to get involved in the offense, and if it's Chad Tracy getting some starts at third base, maybe Jeff Baker getting some starts and giving Aramis a little extra time to try to iron out his problems.
We'll do the 3-2 again.
When right, that's a pitch that Aramis Ramirez just absolutely hammers. Straight as a string fastball, up and out over the plate.
He got under it. And as Gillespie gets under it.
We're talking about spring training at bats and getting prepared for the regular season. I had a long chat with John McLaren, the bench coach for the Washington Nationals, the other day. He was relating a story about Edgar Martinez, arguably the best right-handed hitter to come down the pike in a long time. Edgar felt like at least once a week he needed to go to the minor league complex and lead off every inning in 2 different minor league games. And John McLaren was saying that Seattle had gone to play on the road that day in spring training, and when they came home, Edgar was in the clubhouse, and McLaren asked him, "How'd you do today?" Ball popped into foul territory down the first base line, and LaRoche going to have just enough room. We'll finish when we come back.
It's a wind-aided foul out. It's 5-1 Arizona as we head to the 5th. Hey, Chicagoland viewers, how would you like to win 5 $5 footlongs from Subway? Just be the 500th texter to text Subway to 97999. Go to WGNTV.com for complete information and rules.
I'll just quickly finish the story about Edgar Martinez and spring training at bats. If you're not familiar, the minor league camp is much more informal than big league spring training games, and Edgar would go down there and lead off every inning for 2 different teams playing on side-by-side fields. And when John McLaren got back from the Mariners road trip, he asked Edgar, "How'd you do today?" He said, "I had 5 hits, 7 walks and got hit by pitch 3 times. He had 17 at-bats in one afternoon. And he would do that once a week in spring training just to get up to the number of at-bats and see the number of pitches that he felt he needed to get ready for the regular season.
Well, you do that 3 or 4 times, and that's about all you need.
Yeah.
2-1 on Upton, who started the 5-run fourth by walking. Twins finally have lost a series final in Detroit. 3-0 Tigers. They take 2 of 3. Dontrell Willis with his first win. Jose Valverde got his 7th save. Carl Pavano an 8-inning complete game, but a loss for the Twins. Upton grounds out to Ramirez. Most runs he's allowed since midseason last year in Philadelphia. Reynolds walked and scored on the home run by LaRoche his last time up. You see by that swing why he holds the all-time single season mark for strikeouts. That's his swing whenever he swings.
He's rapidly sneaking up on the franchise record for strikeouts. He's only been in the major leagues a little over 3 years. I think Luis Gonzalez is the all-time leader in strikeouts, and Gonzo played 8 or 9 years with the Diamondbacks.
So he set the major league mark for Ks in 08. 204. Last year, 223. 2 away, 6th strikeout for Lilly. Edgar Tovar with, to say, a half-hearted effort. Come on, Edgar.
Well, his job is to protect the other catcher down there in the bullpen, and once he realized it wasn't going to hit the catcher, he let it go.
Wasn't good enough for Carlos Zambrano. Edgar and Corey Miller work as hard as anybody in that clubhouse. Edgar throws a lot of BP. They both catch a ton of bullpens. Shag and fly balls during BP. Have to give these guys behind the scenes a lot of credit. I'm sure, you know, I see these guys hanging out with the players. That's lofted down the right field line and out of play. I think Edgar and Corey probably play amateur psychologist at times. Guys just want to get some things off their chest.
Oh, yeah. Kind of baseball's version of a bartender, you know, a guy you're comfortable being around. They've seen, especially the relief pitchers and the starting pitchers, they've seen everything you throw.
Wow, Adam LaRoche has 2 home runs. This one is going to bounce off the back of that little concourse area and on to Sheffield for his 2nd homer in as many innings, and it's 6-1. That was a blast.
Yes, it was. You know, Len, you asked me earlier if you make any adjustments as a hitter on a day like this. I think the one thing you do as a hitter is concentrate more on getting pitches up in the strike zone, pitches that you're likely to elevate. You really don't want to change your swing mechanically to try to elevate those balls, but if the pitch is already up belt high or above, more than likely you're going to hit that ball in the air. And Ted Lilly, unfortunately, has made some mistakes up in the zone today.
That is the first home run to reach Sheffield this season here at Wrigley Field. Curveball strike on Young. 1-1. swing and a miss as the ball ended up back on the field as that pitch was being delivered. 1-2.
Took a while to run that one down.
Diamondbacks have had the Cubs numbers since they started up in '98, winning 52 of the 88 matchups, including 2 games over 500 in this park. High fly to left, Soriano in, now backing up just a bit. 2-out homer by LaRoche to Sheffield, and it's 6-1 Arizona. And Soriano takes a strike on the outside corner. It's not very nice of Adam. His dad, Dave, once pitched for the Cubs. What's going on with that? Fouled back. So as a team, you know you're going to have to hit the ball out of the park today. But as you said, you don't want to change your swing and swing for home runs. I think the Diamondbacks have proven today that a patient approach, not swinging at pitches out of the zone, is a good way to pile up some base runners. And then hit that home run, but Soriano strikes out on 3 straight.
A textbook at bat by Ian Kennedy, that up the ladder fastball. We've seen that repeatedly throughout the past. You can either throw the slider low and away, a pitch that Soriano has recognized much better this year and laid off of in those situations, but the high fastball just a little too tempting.
You look at Kennedy's numbers, 0-1 with a 443 coming in. They're a bit deceiving. He's been pretty good his last 2 times out. 2 no decisions, but he went 5 innings at San Diego, 2 hits, no runs. And then his last time out, a career high 8 innings and allowed just 2 runs, but couldn't get a win. So he has pitched well here lately, and he's been excellent early on today.
Had a shaky outing against the Dodgers in LA, went only 4 1/3, gave up 6 hits, including 3 home runs in that game. He has surrendered 6 long balls this year, so that's somewhat encouraging.
Cubs have had 3 base runners, Fontenot has accounted for 2 of those, hit by a pitch in the 3rd and a 1-out single here in the 5th.
Right back where it came from. A lot of base hits back up that middle of the field.
Soto at the plate, and Chad Tracy's on deck for Lily. Breaking ball strike, 0-1. Line foul and out of play. Diamondbacks with 3 home runs today, and they have a 6-1 lead. They came in with the most homers in the majors, now have 32 on the year. Outside on a fastball, 2-2. The White Sox are trailing again today. They're in Texas, 3-1 Rangers in the 7th. Texas trying to get to 500. The White Sox are 8-13. Well hit to center, but room for Young to catch it a little bit to the side. We're around that area time-wise when Marlon Byrd made his catch yesterday.
And we've seen Marlon Byrd do a similar positioning on those high fly balls to center at this time of day. Turn your body to the side, play the ball out of the sun. You can see Young to keep his body opened up toward right field to keep that ball out of the sun and able to make the play.
Marlon hoping his team can close the gap here as pinch hitter Chad Tracy faces his former team and whips it foul, scattering the bullpen.
Must be some guys down there he liked from last year.
Bob, I haven't seen Jake Peavy pitch a whole lot. Watched just a little bit of that game last night, but he is 0-2 in 5 starts with the White Sox with a 7.85. The catch made by Drew. So both teams here in the Windy City off to slow starts. The Cubs trailing this one 6-1. present Family Sundays at the friendly confines this spring. Purchase 4 seats to any Sunday home game in May, and any child 15 and younger in your group will get the chance to run the bases following that day's game. Tickets are limited, so visit Cubs.com to order your tickets today. Right-hander Jeff Gray in his first year as a Cub. He is on in relief of Ted Lilly.
It's been a week for Jeff Gray since he last pitched a scoreless inning on that last road trip at Citi Field in New York.
Former Oakland Athletic. As Gillespie hits it foul into the Cub dugout. 2-1. A reminder, Cub fans, get in on the Way of Life campaign. The Cubs would like to hear from you. Fans who live and breathe Cubs baseball. 10 finalists will be chosen to visit the ballpark and have their stories videotaped and posted on to Cubs.com. And one lucky fan will be chosen to get the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to throw out the ceremonial first pitch before a home game. The deadline for essays is tomorrow, Friday, April 30th at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Terrio across to Lee for the out.
Or did ball a couple of steps to Terrio's right, got to it in pretty good shape. Throw it a little high to Derek Lee, but no problem for the 6'5" first baseman.
Snyder with a home run his last time. The line on Ted Lilly, 5 innings, 6 runs. All on homers, 3 of them. And a rare non-quality start by a Cubs starting pitcher, but well, these are the kind of days it'd be nice to bail out the starter. Been the other way around for the first several weeks. And Kennedy getting a lot of support today. And LaRoche with 2 home runs. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Hey, Mick Bunton from LaPorte, Indiana is today's Hit the Jackpot with Powerball contestant. If the Cubs hit a home run in the next inning, Mick Bunton will win 100 chances to win the Powerball jackpot. Saturday's jackpot is worth $45 million.
Cubs will have the top of their order coming up in the bottom of this inning. Kennedy rolls it into left. He's had some good swings today. He lined out hard to center in his first at bat, and he's 1 for 3. He chats it over with your former Giant teammate Matt Williams.
Matt Williams, a full-time on-field coach this year. He's kind of been a consultant slash part-time coach slash part-time minor league manager wherever the Diamondbacks have needed him, but he's a full-time first base coach this year for the Snakes. Boy, could he pick it. Ooh.
Now, what was it like to play alongside him and later manage him?
Well, it was
he the only guy you managed and played with? I can't think of anybody else.
Yeah, he was the only one. It was really fun to kind of watch Matt Williams' career unfold. He initially came up as a shortstop. We had an injury to Jose Uribe, our regular shortstop. Matty came up from the minor leagues and struggled mightily at the plate. But he figured it out rather quickly, ultimately made the move to third base where he was one of the best in his era, defensively and offensively. And unfortunately, at the end of his career with the Arizona Diamondbacks, I had to tell Matty that his services were no longer required, which was one of the harder things I had to do as a manager at the major league level.
So last year was 03, and you're right. While you were with him in San Francisco, He never hit above 205 early on in his career. That changed, though, in the early 90s. Soriano shuffling over and makes the catch to end the inning. Bottom 6, top of the order, 6-1 Arizona. WGNTV.com right now. Click on the WGN Sports Game Zone banner to connect to all of the up-to-the-minute stats and info while you're watching at home. Game Zone is sponsored by The Great Escape, pools, patio and play sets, hot tubs, and more.
That's what the Cubs need. More offense. Got to get it going against Ian Kennedy, who's pitched an outstanding ball game to this point, stifling the Cubs on 2 hits.
He faces Ryan Theriot for the 3rd time. Ryan knocking in the only Cubs run to date. The 3rd inning RBI single, scoring Fontenot. One ball, one strike. The pitching matchups for the rest of the weekend tomorrow. Righties, Rodrigo Lopez and Randy Wells. Wells tries to improve to 3-0. How about this one on Saturday right here on WGN at straight up noon Central? Dan Herron and Carlos Silva. Silva's 2-0 with a 1.73. Theriot with a big cut. Strikes out.
Hey fans, tickets are selling quickly, but there's still time to get great seats for April and May games. Bleacher seats are still available as well. To purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com, call 1-800-THE-CUBS, or visit the Wrigley Field box office.
On Sunday, Tom Gorzolani. You can't buy a win. 0-3 with a 245. He'll face Edwin Jackson. And again, right here on WGN at 1 o'clock for the leadoff man. Well, the Cubs will have their first off day in basically 3 weeks. It'll be a travel day Monday, and it's off to Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. Snyder wants his pitch down, and Fukudome got a piece of it. 1-2. And Kosuke, who's hitting coach from Japan, Mr. Sasaki, is in town. grounder to LaRoche. Decides to flip to Kennedy. 2 down.
This has the earmarks of one of those games we were talking about the other day, Len, where somebody's going to point out after the ball game, boy, did the Cubs look flat today. And that happens when you're not doing anything offensively. And rather than say the team looks flat, I choose to give all the credit to the opposing pitcher. Kennedy has done a nice job of keeping the ball out of the middle of the plate, staying down unless he wants to elevate the ball. He's used that straight changeup for great effectiveness in this ball game. And when a pitcher is hitting his spots, getting ahead in the count, it makes an offense look flat.
He has not walked anybody either. The 1-0 to Derek Lee, fastball, and it's a comebacker to Kennedy. And the Cubs are done in the 6th. They're being 2-hit by Kennedy after 6, 6-1 D-backs. Three home runs, 2 from Adam LaRoche. And a tough day for Ted Lilly in his 2nd start of the year. Visit your Honda dealer and test drive a 2010 Honda CR-V. One and 0 on Stephen Drew. Jeff Gray in his 2nd inning of work, and Drew has his first knock of the day. We mentioned the Diamondbacks bullpen has had all kinds of issues this season. Kennedy threw 6 innings, 74 pitches. I think his manager's going to ride the hot hand on the mound as long as he can today.
I think you're absolutely right, Len. We're at that point of the season where after spring training, the pitchers tried to build up their arm strength and get deeper and deeper into the Cactus League and Grapefruit League games. And now you're a month into the regular season, and these starters should be to the point where managers can start to extend them a little bit, especially when your bullpen is struggling the way the Diamondbacks have struggled.
Inside on Upton. It hasn't been Upton or Reynolds or Johnson for that matter. Johnson does have 3 hits, but he has not figured into the scoring. But LaRoche and Snyder have done all the damage. Gray better stay out of the middle of the plate here. And unfortunately stayed completely out of the zone. 3-0 on Upton.
It's funny, Len, you look at the physical ability of a guy like Justin Upton, and you figure with his speed he wouldn't hit into too many ground balls, but he leads the Diamondbacks, grounding into 3 already this season. Basically because he hits the ball so hard, it gives the defense an opportunity to turn those double plays.
Not an ideal start to this inning. Reynolds is coming up, and LaRoche is now on deck.
Incidentally, I mentioned Reynolds was sneaking up on the franchise record for strikeouts. Well, that strikeout back in the 5th inning put him #1 all-time Diamondback strikeout list. 3.5 seasons.
Don't let the incredible amount of strikeouts fool you. He is a very good player. He was the only player in baseball last year to hit 40 homers, knock in 100, and steal 20 bases.
Mentioned his defensive woes back in 08. He made 35 errors. Last year he made 24, but only one so far this season, and I think it's direct effect of Matt Williams, the first base coach, working with his defense, especially with his footwork.
Time now for our Uvers replay. Adam LaRoche coming up. He has already hit 2 home runs. Got the scoring started for Arizona with a 3-run homer in the 4th. And a solo blast out onto Sheffield in the 5th. Find out more of what's possible at ATT.com. AT&T, rethink possible. Who's coming out? I don't know if he dropped something or if there's a piece of debris on the field. But with LaRoche coming up, he's going to go with James Russell with 1 out in the 7th. And the Diamondbacks leading 6-1. So you're going to have the sons of 2 former major league pitchers doing battle. The son of Jeff Russell against the son of Dave LaRoche. James against Adam. LaRoche's homers coming off Ted Lilly, so he's already connected twice off a lefty. Two on with 1 out.
LaRoche has actually hit lefties pretty well in the early going this season, 5 for 15 with a home run. However, he has struck out 5 times against left-handed pitching.
Here we go. Outside, ball 1. missed again on a slider. 2 balls, no strikes. James is one of 3 southpaws currently in the Cubs bullpen. John Grabo and Sean Marshall, the veterans, are the others. Finally caught the outside corner. Looks like if LaRoche is going to hit his third, it's going to have to go to left or left center.
Started the sequence with 2 sliders off the plate away. Comes right back with an 89-mile-an-hour heater right on the corner at the knees away. Big, slow, loopy breaking ball that time for a called strike.
Close but didn't get it. 3-2. Hall of Famer Fergie Jenkins getting ready for the 7th inning stretch. Fouled back. LaRoche seeing everything well. Able to fight off that 3-2. Give himself one more chance at least. Guys are going well. They don't hit everything right on the screws. Sometimes you just need to stay alive. And he does, and he drives that ball as it's slicing away from Marlon Byrd. And he's going to knock in at least one more. They're going to hold Upton at third, but Drew is in. And it's a 5 RBI, 2 homer, 1 double afternoon for Adam LaRoche. Most hitters dream of days like this.
It's down over the plate. Thought that one might have a chance to get out of here as well. Hit it too low that time, hit right in the middle of the wall. Mike Fontenot kind of backing up the cutoff throw to Ryan Theriot. If he'd been at second base, they may have had a chance to get LaRoche. He was just gliding from first into second, assuming a double. A quick snap throw from Theriot to Fontenot. If Mike had been on the bag, may have gotten it.
Chris Young 0 for 3 with the infield in. Runners at second and third, and a 7-1 Arizona lead. Inside. Russell gets a sign from Soto. Here's a pitch. Ground ball to third. Kicks away from Ramirez and drops. Everybody safe. As the 2 runners had to hold. It'll be an error on Aramis, and the bases are loaded.
And with that infield drawn in, hard hit ball to Ramirez, hit off the heel of his glove. Not sure if Theriot was trying to tip it back to Aramis or what he was doing there. No chance to get Young at first base with his speed.
So they're full of Diamondbacks. Here's Gillespie. Inside and low, ball 1. Russell trying to keep this thing from really getting out of hand as the Cubs already trail by 6. And there's nobody up in the bullpen. This is going to be his inning in which to sink or swim.
Unfortunately, it's one of those days you don't want to go through a whole can of bullpen on a day like this when it figures to be similar conditions all weekend long. You don't know how many relief pitchers you're going to need over the next 3 ball games. You just hope James Russell can give you a couple of innings here.
Through the hole on the left side, and they go station to station as Upton crosses the plate. It's 8-1. So these two runs charged to Jeff Gray, and they're still loaded. Still trying to get that double play ball and get out of this inning. Swing and a miss. It's a strike, 0-2. Very quiet, huge crowd here at Wrigley Field as the visiting team has dominated today.
I think it's like we anticipated. I think the fans were anticipating quite an offensive outburst today. Unfortunately, it's been very one-sided up to this point, and once again, you have to give a lot of credit to the Diamondbacks starting pitcher, Ian Kennedy. He's twirled an outstanding game up to this point.
That one clubbed into center. They get one more. Bo Porter, the third base coach, holds Chris Young at third. LaRoche is in. And Larry Rothschild's going to have to come out, and still nobody up in the Cubs bullpen. You always want quality, but at this point it's quantity. Cubs need James Russell to get through this inning, and that's probably what Larry's telling him. Got to find a way.
Now, hopefully a momentum breaker here. Just slow down the Diamondbacks offense a little bit. Hopefully with the opposing pitcher in that batter's box, Cubs can find a way to get that ground ball they need to get out of this inning.
So the Diamondbacks now out hitting the Cubs 12-2. Outside, ball one. That caught the inside corner. This is the first inning in which the Diamondbacks have scored without the home run ball. Four hits, a walk, and an error. Two and two. Tiger and Arizona Cardinal fan. Okay. The fly ball to right. Young ready to tag. Fukudome gets it, and he throws toward the plate, cut off by Derek Lee. And the pitcher comes through. Kennedy with a sacrifice fly. That is his first career RBI.
Well, not only has Kennedy pitched a good ball game today, he's got a base hit, now a sac fly, put together some pretty good at-bats for a guy that hasn't had many at-bats in his career.
10-1. It's right through Soto. That'll probably be a pass ball.
Looked like a slider that just didn't take the break. Giovanni Soto was expecting that ball to sweep across the plate. Had to reach back at the last instant. And couldn't get it. Has to go as a pass ball.
Second and third, and the pitch to Johnson is low, 2-0. They batted around. Johnson's a 9th hitter of the inning. It's the second time they've sent 9 to the plate in this game. High and deep, Fukudome back, and this one's going to go. A majestic home run for Kelly Johnson. A major league leading 9 home runs for Johnson. And this inning has fallen apart on James Russell. It's 13-1.
I think we both agree Kelly Johnson looked like a pretty good player down in Atlanta, but I never envisioned him being a home run hitter. Well, you put a charge into that one.
Johnson's career high prior to this year, 16 back in 07. He's already more than halfway there in 21 games.
Nice quick swing, uses a lot of hands driving that bat through the hitting zone, and once that ball got up in the air, there was very little doubt about where it was headed.
Drew lofts it, and Kosuke was playing back, and perfectly placed for Drew. His second hit of this inning. So the Diamondbacks have now played at 25 going back to yesterday. And that's going to force Justin Berg to grab a ball out in the bullpen. There was an error in this inning, so there are going to be some unearned runs here. And nobody wants to go through what James Russell's dealing with right now. He's only gotten 1 out, and that was a sac fly by the pitcher.
It's an unfortunate experience for a young pitcher like James Russell to go through something like this. He probably breezed through his minor league career, had very few outings where he got hit hard. Otherwise, he wouldn't be here in the big leagues. But when you run up against a red-hot offensive ball club that's in a feeding frenzy, and your manager and pitching coach are trying to save the rest of the bullpen, this is what can happen. This is probably a very unfamiliar experience for James Russell.
Well, the Cubs were on the other side of this on Sunday against Dave Bush in Milwaukee. The 2-2. Called strike 3. Finally, the inning is over. Here comes Fergie Jenkins.
Guest conductor protecting after the ball game is Cubs Hall of Fame pitcher Fergie Jenkins.
Well, come on, fans, let's get together here. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back for it. Root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Let's go, guys. Let's get some runs. Let's go.
Big day for the Diamondbacks, 13-1 as we get into the bottom of the 7th. Hall of Famer Fergie Jenkins is with us as Aramis Ramirez starts the inning with a base hit.
Well, that's how you start it. Get that first hit. You know, he's kept the ball down. I've watched the game on TV in one of the booths, and predominantly has hit good slider, good sinker, and he's been keeping the ball down. And, hey, these next 2 innings, who knows?
Who knows is right.
Get in the bullpen.
You saw some wild ones here during your Cubs career.
Pittsburgh won game 21-20, and I think the Phillies did a similar game, like 23-20. Mike Schmidt had like 3 home runs.
The Phillies had a couple of wild ones here in the 70s. Marlon Byrd with 1 on and nobody out. 27 miles an hour the wind, and for the most part blowing straight out to left. Right now it seems to be blowing out to left, center, and center. I know that some pitchers have commented they like the wind to blow out because it helps their sinker move. Did it matter to you what the wind did when you came to pitch here?
No, I used to drive in off Belmont, and I could tell the wind was blowing out when I came off the outer drive. So there's not much you can do. I mean, we had a game plan, Randy and I, or Kenny Rudolph, and we kept the ball down and away, and guys looking for balls away, pitch them hard in, try to jam them.
How about when you hit here, though, with the wind blowing out? You had
I
to
love
like
to
that.
Oh, yeah. Pitcher made a mistake. I tried to punish him.
The Cubs record with 13 homers as a pitcher now belongs to Carlos Zambrano, who has 20. Carlos may not get a lot of chances here, at least in the short term, to add on to that. He is now pitching in the bullpen, trying to solidify that 8th inning.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. He's in a bit of a slump, and I think the only way you're going to rectify it is to go out there and get an opportunity to pitch.
2 on. This is a rally for the Cubs. It's the first time, Fergie, they've had 2 on in the game.
That's what it's all about. A jam job and a line drive. I mean, who knows what's going to happen next?
Some highlights of your playing career, Fergie.
Yeah, it's Kenny Rudolph. He's catching. It was my 3,000 strikeout with Jody Davis. So that was a lot of fun to do.
I know it's a big thrill for you, but being a former catcher, what a thrill for Jody Davis to be behind the plate when you achieved that great milestone.
Yeah, that was, you know, it's, you go out there and you know things are going to happen, and a lot of times you got to be positive and make them happen.
Soriano turns on it, but he hooked it too far and out of play. Every time we talk to you, we talk about innings pitched. 200 is the big milestone now. In your day, 300 innings was
commonplace.
Commonplace. For you it was, for sure.
Well, you know, Gibson and Seaver and Marichal, you know, Bunning, a lot of these guys, they tallied a lot of innings. I mean, it's just that with a 4-man rotation, if you stayed healthy, you're going to get a lot of pitching in.
I want to know what hurts. I know what hurts on my partner, and that is knees. One's been replaced. Is there an old injury that creeps up on you on a daily basis?
Pitching. You know, I throw from time to time in these fantasy games, and I try to pitch more than 2 innings. Messes up my golf swing.
2 strikes on Soriano, the pitch. And he went for the strikeout. He doesn't like that call by Tim Welke. We've said this many times. It's very difficult for him to hold up because he swings such a big bat.
And not only tough for Soriano to hold up, but in a blowout ball game like this, it's tough for the umpires not to call that a swinging strike.
Fontenot with 1 out. In the dirt. And a wonderful ceremony to retire the number 31 Cubs jersey worn by Fergie and later Greg Maddux.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. You know, walking out there on the mound, and you know, Greg went over 300 games. I mean, he was quite a pitcher. Pitched like 24 years. I pitched 18. So it was a lot of fun pitching here at Wrigley Field and wearing that particular number.
So much wind. They taken down the flags on the foul poles and the pennant flags out in center. They want them to blow away. And keeper's nice and pristine.
Now, certainly one thing that you and Greg Maddux had in common, Fergie, you wanted to finish what you started. So many pitchers in the game nowadays are trained once they get to the 100-pitch mark, they start looking into the dugout, looking down to the bullpen. But I know you weren't that way, and I know Greg Maddux wasn't that way.
Yeah, when you went out there, the manager gave you the ball. You expected to try to complete a ball game, especially if it's close. It's blown out. I mean, a lot of times they're going to ask you to leave, but fundamentally, you're matched up with another pretty good ball player, pitcher especially, and that was the end result. You had to go out there and compete as well as the Seaver or Gibson. That was it.
Fergie, always a pleasure to see you. Rough day on the field, but it's always great to see you in the booth.
Pleasure. Thank you. Hey, guys.
PNC Club of Chicago. The newly built club, located down the third baseline, offers high-end catering, a full-service top-shelf bar, indoor and outdoor seating, and other benefits that allow for a truly all-inclusive game day experience. Membership also includes parking for every home game. To reserve your season tickets in the PNC Club of Chicago, call 773-404-4200.
Couple of changes. Tyler Colvin is now in center. And Justin Berg will do the pitching here in the 8th. That 7th ended on a line out and an unassisted double play, as Augie Ojeda came in to play 3rd in the bottom of the 7th.
Look at Berg's numbers on the season, pitching in his 10th ball game, the .226 opponent's batting average. Walks have been a little bit of an issue with Justin. He started to throw a lot more strikes his last couple of appearances with that heavy sinking fastball.
LaRoche will not get a chance to add to his home run and RBI total, as Rusty Ryle will bat for Adam LaRoche. Again, you start to get that spring training feel in a 13-1 blowout. James Russell was charged with 5 runs. Only 1 was earned in just 2/3 of an inning. don't know if there's a learning experience in that 7th inning for the rookie left-hander. I think the number one thing is he probably never wants to go through that again. Ground ball to Derek Lee. He'll get it to Berg for the out. Coming up at 5 o'clock, the WGN News here in Chicago. Mark Sapelsa, Lourdes Duarte, and Tom Skilling will have all the weather. Beautiful weather day today, as much as it's been a struggle on the field for the Cubs today, and hopefully more warm temperatures for the weekend. Tune in and find out. Treetops are blowing in the brisk breeze.
What a difference in defensive positioning by the outfielders today. Unfortunately, the Cubs outfielders couldn't play deep enough to catch some of those home run balls. But last night, or a couple nights ago, with the wind blowing in, they were all probably playing about 20 steps more shallow than they are today with the wind blowing out.
Young flies out to Colvin. And it's a 1-2-3 inning, 13-1 Arizona. (13-1) Arizona. Well, they have taken advantage of the weather conditions today, and Ian Kennedy sure has thoroughly enjoyed his Wrigley Field debut. He has handcuffed the Cubs to just 1 run through 7 on 4 hits. Diamondbacks bats have been as hot as those nachos.
I recommend you wash the helmet before you wear it.
That's a good idea. You don't do the jalapeno conditioner rinse?
From the inside out, maybe. Not external.
Steve Ryle is at first. And Soto hits it foul. 36,850. It's a beautiful day, but again, it's been a tough one for the home team. Cubs went 3-3 on their first homestand, and in danger of dropping to 4-6 at home. This had been such a huge home field advantage. the first 3 years under Lou Piniella, and it still very well could be this season, but a slow start here. Ball 4, Soto draws the walk as we step aside and see what's coming up on WGN. You can never overreact to one game, especially this early in the season. I don't think the Cubs are overly concerned about Ted Lilly. Just had a bad day in just his second start, but the offense is definitely becoming a concern. Ryle will spin and bad throw. Probably should have just taken the out at first, but it's a risky throw with the runner essentially between Ryle and Stephen Drew. So the Cubs with 2 on and nobody out.
A fundamental mistake there on Ryle with a big lead in the ball game. You just take outs. Very risky play. Soto was right in line with his throw to Stephen Drew, kicked into left field. Once again, the Cubs with an opportunity to perhaps get something going here in the bottom half of the 8th inning.
The leadoff walk by Kennedy was his first of the day. The fielder's choice for Colvin and a throwing error on Ryle. And it brings up Terrio, who takes it low and outside. They're going to get on the phone to the bullpen. Mel Stottlemyre Jr. Sometimes it's just a feel thing, and when he walked the leadoff man, I thought they might get somebody up, but now with 2 base runners, I think the Diamondbacks dugout men are thinking, you know what, even though we're up 12, we don't want Kennedy to walk off the mound feeling like he had a bad outing.
And the other side of that coin is you hope the Cubs can get something going offensively here in the last couple of innings, just to feel better about themselves going into tomorrow's game.
Birds flying all over the outfield as they look for their late afternoon snack. Rolled into right, a base hit, and they're loaded with nobody out. Terrio with 2 hits.
And this is a situation we talked about in the open of the show. Now, granted, the Cubs are trailing by 12 runs in the 8th inning, but you have to start coming up with some base hits with runners in scoring position. Terrio with that patented inside-out swing finds a hole on the right side to load him up for Kosuke Fukudome. Derek Lee and Aramis Ramirez need a big knock here.
Rookie righty Daniel Stang just called up from the minors. And he's getting ready in the bullpen. If Stang pitches, it'll be his major league debut. Fukudome lifts to left and deep and way back and gone. A grand slam for Kosuke. So they're down 8, but they get 4 back on one big swing. A grand slammer for Fukudome, his first career granny.
It took to the 8th inning, but let's check out our BMW ultimate drive of the ball game. Kosuke Fukudome going to the opposite field, taking advantage of that brisk wind. Got it up in the air and just did tuck it into the basket out there in left center field. Hurry into the BMW spring sales drive now through April 30th.
Couple more of those and we're tied. Now you just hope the Cubs can start another rally with nobody on base. That's how you get it done. Leadoff walk started the whole thing. Hard on the ground to right at Drew, the shortstop, and Lee grounds out. Eric 0 for 4. You don't believe in the rally-killing grand slam, do you?
No, not at all. I mean, in one respect, it kind of takes the pitcher off the hook a little bit. He doesn't have base runners to worry about out there, although I don't think Kennedy was worried too much about the base runners with a 13-1 lead. But when you put crooked numbers under the runs column, there's nothing rally-killing about that.
Called strike on Ramirez. Nady on deck in the pitcher spot. You're going to see Sean Marshall in the ninth. Center field, Chris Young.
Well, if Cub fans need something to hang their hat on, and Lord knows we need it down by 8. Look at these numbers for the Diamondbacks bullpen in the 9th inning this year. 26 hits in 16 2/3 innings, including 8 home runs. ERA of over 11. It'd be nice to cut into that lead a little bit more here in the 8th inning before hoping for the best in the 9th.
In their first 21 games, they had allowed just 3 runs in the 8th inning. The Cubs got 4 on the grand slam by Fukudome. The 1-0 to Nady is outside. Former Yankee teammates Ian Kennedy and Xavier Nady. Both missed most of last year with injury. In the case of Kennedy, just 1 inning. He's got the aneurysm near his shoulder. Tommy John surgery for Nady.
Starting to see some signs that Kennedy's mechanics are coming apart a little bit out there on the mound, pulling pitches way off the plate. Command not nearly as fine as it was in the early going.
USC product. And he gets a line out from Nady to Ryle. First career grand slam for Fukudome. The Cubs still trail 13-5.
It's a little more of an interesting ball game, but the Cubs need to do a lot more offensively in the bottom half of the ninth. Sean Marshall hopes to put up another 0 the way Justin Berg did in the 8th. Marshall pitching in his 3rd out of the last 4 days, although one of those outings was just a 1/3 of an inning.
One strike on Cole Gillespie. 13-5 Arizona. One of those runs on the Grand Slam unearned because of the Rusty Ryle throwing error. Here's a pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
That breaking ball covers so much ground from one side of the plate to the other, and the drop on it about a 1.5 feet. Very tough to make contact, period, but to square it up is almost impossible.
That's a strike, 0-2. Soto wanted the heater up, and it was, and out of the zone. 1-2 on Snyder. Tony Abreu on deck. Switch hitter. Ground ball to short as Terrio will get the out. And Kennedy done for the day as Abreu will pinch hit for the Diamondbacks starter.
Season numbers for Tony Abreu. He's 2 for 9 as a pinch hitter off the bench. 0 for 1 as a right-handed hitter. 2 for 8 as a left-handed hitter.
The 0-1 on the way. Curveball. Surprised the wind didn't just pick that ball up and carry it right out of the ballpark without anybody hitting it. Wind is blowing as hard as it has all day. I bet it's upwards of 30 miles an hour. If we started at 27, it's got to be at least that hard. Swing and a miss as Marshall makes quick work of the Diamondbacks in the top of the ninth. Last chance for the Cubs. They trail by a bunch. For our Chicago area viewers, the WGN News coming up at 5 o'clock Chicago time. Mark Sapelsa, Lourdes Duarte will have the news. Tom Skilling with the weather report. That's at 5 o'clock for our Chicagoland viewers. 1-0 on Alfonso Soriano. His right-hander Daniel Stang just threw his first pitch in the big leagues. The 7th round pick out of the University of California Redlands in 05. He's from Orange, California. His numbers with AAA Reno. And he just got called up as the Diamondbacks put Chris Benson and Leo Rosales on the disabled list after the game yesterday. Long run over and a sliding grab by Gerardo Parra. Nicely done. 1 out.
That's how an outfielder can use his body to protect himself from that sidewall. Parra knew he was getting close, goes into the slide, makes the catch, and uses his feet to protect himself against the side wall.
It was a fair ball. So he robbed a hit from Soriano. Here's Fontenot. Sharply hit ground ball at the second baseman Johnson. Two quick outs for Stang, making his major league debut.
Power arm for Stang. You saw that fastball at 95 right down the middle of the plate. Throughout his minor league career in 167 in the third innings, 181 strikeouts coming into this season.
Swing and a miss, 1-2. This will do it. Drew up with it. And a dig by Ryle, and the Diamondbacks take game 1. And the Cubs, after winning a season best 4 straight, have now dropped to 3 in a row. 13-5 the final. So Ian Kennedy over Ted Lilly, and we'll be back to Wrigley in a moment.